Hello, everyone. How are you guys today? Good. I'm going to check something real quick. I have to live stream this on YouTube simultaneously, so things might be a little wonky today. Let me check that real quick. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So do you guys know what we're talking about today? No? So today we are getting into one of our last weeks, actually. We're almost done. But we're going to talk about geology and Earth this week, whether it's weather or volcanoes, earthquakes, all of that kind of stuff. And today specifically, we're talking about rocks. So rock formations and processes and types of rocks and all sorts of things. How many of you guys have taken like an earth science class before where you learned about the rock cycle? Stuff like that. Are you guys new to the idea of the rock cycle? Maybe a little bit? Yeah? Well, cool. We're going to have fun today then. All right. We are going to be doing a little bit of trivia at the end. So prepare yourself for that. Here we go. You guys are going to see yourself on YouTube for a second. Okay. Here we go. So today we're talking about awesome rock formations and other rocky coolness. We're going to start with the rock cycle. So this picture in front of you is the rock cycle. Everything starts on the inside, right? Magma and lava. That magma goes out to the surface as igneous rock, which is this guy down here. Oh, here, let me get my pointer out. This one down here, this porous dark rock is igneous rock, okay? That is changed or eroded and it turns into sedimentary rock, or so that erodes into sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock can then temper and pressure into metamorphic rock, which can change into igneous rock. It's confusing. Essentially, rocks just kind of cycle through. They're constantly changing form, and they're melting, and they're hardening. They're eroding away, turning into sand and dust and clay, and reforming into hard rock again. Pretty crazy. So we're gonna learn about these three types of rocks. So the first one is sedimentary rock, and it is formed by the deposition or accumulation of small particles of rock. So when do you guys have rocks in your front yard, or you've seen rocks, right? When water gets on a rock, it like erodes it and it turns it into like sand. That sand is then washed away and it creates layers. And sedimentary rock are those layers. So they form visible layers, and then sedimentary rock is usually formed underwater because water is such an important factor of erosion. But it can also be formed by wind as well. So these are two sedimentary rocks. This one is a bunch of big rocks that formed another rock. And this is sand that has been laid on top of each other, layer after layer after layer after layer, to form a more solid looking rock. Okay, igneous rock. Igneous rock is formed through the cooling of magma or lava. Igneous rock is Latin for fire. Sometimes the rock is porous and other times it's very smooth, but usually they have a darker color sometimes. So this really, really smooth rock down here, oh, I forgot the name of it. Darn, I forgot the name of this rock. But this rock right here is granite. So like if you have a countertop, Do any of you guys have granite countertops in your household? Or fake granite countertops? Yes or no? That's what granite is. And then I'm going to look up. It is called obsidian. So this really pretty dark one down here is called obsidian. Okay. Then our last type of rock is a metamorphic rock. So metamorphic rocks start their lives as other types of rock, but because of high heat, high pressure, and exposure to other minerals, these rocks change form. Sometimes crystals grow in or on these rocks. So what do I mean by high heat and high pressure? When might a rock get exposed to high heat and high pressure? What do you guys think?
During the summer, maybe?
Maybe during the summer. That's a good guess. It's actually going to be in the earth. The deeper a rock goes, the more pressure it's under, and the more pressure it's under, the more hotter it gets. Because the closer to the center of the earth you get, the warmer it gets, right? For rocks anyway. So when they're down there and they're under so much pressure from other rocks, it gets really hot and they'll change form. Or they'll be exposed to other minerals. So if like in a cave, stalagmites and stalactites, it's like a salty water that drips off of them and it forms more rock. Okay. So now these are the processes that shape rocks, and I'm going to need your help for this part. Do you guys know the difference between weathering, erosion, and deposition? What is weathering? Do you know? No, you guys don't know what weathering is? That's okay. I'm here to let you know. So weathering is the wearing down or dissolving of rock from agents like water, ice, wind, or plants. Okay, so to show that, I have a picture of this right here. This is called Delicate Arch, and it is, or Angel Arch in Moab, Utah. It's on my shirt. See that guy right there? And he was formed, or it was formed, when water and wind took out this middle part, constantly weathered it away until nothing was left but this outer shell. Okay, so that's weathering, the breaking down or dissolving of rock. Not to be confused with erosion. Do you guys know what erosion is?
I do not remember. Isn't it when two things collide?
You know, that's a really good guess, CJ. But actually, erosion is the movement of rock or sediment. So that it might cause rocks to collide, right? But usually it's almost like dust or sand or clay that gets washed away or blown away by wind or sand. Usually people get weathering and erosion mixed up all the time, because weathering is what breaks down the rock into tiny little pieces, and erosion is the movement of that. So do you guys see a pile of rocks at the bottom of this arch right here? Can you guys see the picture on my slide?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a pile of rocks and dust at the bottom of this arch, in the middle of this arch?
I think I can't really see the dust and stuff.
Yeah, but is there like a bunch of debris right here? Like all the rock that fell down out of this hole, is it hanging out down here at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not really, right? It's gone. It's just kind of smooth and we don't know why. It's because erosion took all that rock that fell out of the center of this arch and washed it away, took it somewhere else. Okay, and our last one. Oh wait, there's a picture. So this picture is another form of erosion. Do you see how what is happening? Do you see how the road kind of fell away? And now the road is down here. So that's erosion as well. All right. Deposition. So the dropping of sediment in a new place. So all the rock that got washed away has to end up somewhere. And that's deposition. Wherever that broken down rock and sediment lands is where it's deposited. Like sand dunes. Have any of you guys ever seen a sand dune in person before?
No.
No. Have you seen sand dunes in pictures though?
Yes.
Yes. Sand dunes are pretty popular imagery. Sand dunes are giant piles of sand that has been blown across the desert and deposited in one spot. Okay. So now we're going to go through some cool rock formations. So we have arches. So arches are formed from weathering. Parts of the rock are weaker or more porous. These parts get dissolved by rain, waves, wind, and ice and fall away slowly. Eventually, the outer part of the rock is all that remains, leaving an awesome arch. So this one up here is called Corona Arch. And it's in Utah again. And it was formed by weathering, right? The outside and the inside of the rock were weathered away, and we were left just with this shell. And then this is in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico, and waves and water kind of eroded a hole in this rock right here. Okay, next formation. We have mushroom rocks. So mushroom rocks are usually found in deserts because they are formed by wind. Wind blows sand across the desert floor. The sand hits and rubs off only the bottom parts of rocks. So as the wind is blowing across the desert floor, it hits the bottom of these rock formations and it tears them away. Yeah. I don't know if you guys, have any of you have ever been in a dust storm before, or at the beach where it's really, when it's really windy, either like a beach at a lake or beach by the ocean. And the sand hits your skin and it hurts. It like really, really hurts when the sand hits your skin. That's what these rocks are experiencing all the time. The sand is constantly blowing against them and rubbing off little parts of them. Okay. Next formation, sand dunes. We kind of already talked about this. Not really a rock formation, but a cool geological feature nonetheless. Remember all of that sand that blows around the desert? Well, it has to end up somewhere. Sand dunes are giant deposits of sand that get blown around. And sand dunes are constantly moving and changing and traveling across the desert. So this giant sand dune right here, in 3 weeks, could be in a different place or look entirely different. Same with this right here. So these sand dunes that you see with the mountains in the background are actually in Colorado. And it's all the sand that blows around the Great Plains in like in Texas and New Mexico and Arizona, Utah, all of these places, and it blows into this little area and it can't go any further because of the mountains. So all of this sand gets deposited here. And these sand dunes are constantly growing because more and more sand gets put there all the time. Okay. Then we have canyons. So canyons are pretty common formation. That's because they are formed by rivers. Water causes weathering and erosion. As a river runs, it breaks down the rocks on the banks or on the sides of the river and carries them away. What's left behind is a canyon. So these are both canyons in Arizona. What's this canyon down here? Who knows? How many of you guys have been to the Grand Canyon? Have any of you been to the Grand Canyon before in Arizona?
My sister has.
Your sister has? Very cool. Well, I hope you get to see it one day too, Blake, because it's really exciting. But this is the Grand Canyon, and it was carved away by the river that's running at the bottom of it. And this takes millions and millions of years to do, right? But water is so powerful, it can just carve right through rock like this. Same with this up here. Okay, and then this is one of my favorite types of rock formations. They're called basalt columns, and they remind me of Minecraft. If you guys play Minecraft, how many of you guys play Minecraft?
Me. I got the Nether update before any of you. I'm a tester.
See, I knew I would get some good responses from that.
I got the update before any of you did.
Well, I'm glad. I honestly don't know what you're talking about because I personally don't play, but I have nephews and nieces that play. But it reminds me of kind of that pixelated, blocky building, right? So basalt columns are formed by cooling lava. So as lava cools, the rocks crack into hexagonal columns. How many sides does a hexagon have? Is it a pentagon? No. Is it an octagon? No. How many sides? You're saying 5, CJ? For a hexagon? A hexagon has 6 sides. So so as the lava is cooling, they always, because of the mineral content in rock, they crack into 6 sides, hexagonal columns. And the outside of the lava tubes and volcanoes erode, or the basalt columns are exposed. So this is Giant's Causeway in Scotland, up here. It's by the ocean. And this one definitely reminds me of Minecraft. It looks like someone built this in a computer. And then down here is Devil's Tower, which is literally a volcano, but the mountain around the inside of the volcano, around the outside of the volcano, just eroded away, disappeared. And all that we're left with is this giant lava column that is hardened. So this is what the inside of a volcano looks like now that it's really old and hardened and formed all of these basalt columns. Okay. So why are cool rock formations more common in deserts and not Nebraska? I'm gonna go back a slide. Why do you guys think there's more rock formations by the ocean or in deserts, but not in like forested areas or areas that are used for cropland? What do you guys think? Do you have any guesses? You can say, I don't know, that's fine. You don't know? Okay. So it's because of plants. So plants help rocks stay in place, or rather they kind of create a protective layer. Rocks are covered in a layer of soil that protects them from the elements. So in Nebraska, for instance, you would have to dig through soft soil that has grass and roots and clay and all of these different things to get to the hard rock, right? And because of this, there aren't that many crazy rock formations because all of those plants kind of protect the rocks, but also they keep them hidden, right? However, soil is made of rock, right? Soil is sand and clay and plants and bugs and all of these different things that make it up, but that can be eroded too. And if soil is washed away, then it could potentially expose some of that rock. Okay. Trivia time, you guys ready? So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get your chat window open, okay? Let me make sure it's the way that I want it. Yep, okay, so so what you're going to do is you're going to type your answer in the chat and it'll only go to me. Okay, so nobody else is going to see it. If you spell something wrong, it's okay. No judgment. There's kind of hard words. All right. If I see any appropriate comments, I will kick you out of the Zoom. Okay. So make sure that we're keeping it real. All right. The first person to answer the question right wins that question. Here we go. First question. Oh my gosh. What type of rock is this? And here's a hint. It's one of the 3 main types that we talked about at the very beginning. Good job, Wyatt. It is sedimentary. See all the layers that it forms? Sedimentary rock forms a bunch of these layers, right? Good job. All right, what is this rock formation? Starts with an A. Okay, it's an arch. That kind of rock formation is an arch. Okay, next question, here we go. When sand is blown around and piles up in giant deposits, what does it form? When the wind blows the sand around and it kind of makes a giant pile. Yep, good job, Blake. It is a sand dune. Sand dunes. Yep, awesome job, guys. Yep, there are sand dunes. Do you guys see these wavy marks on the sand dunes? That's kind of, that's the pattern that the sand makes when it's blowing up and down across itself because it kind of bumps around. All right, what process carries rock particles away through wind and water? Yep, good job, CJ. It is erosion. Erosion carries rock away. Very nice. Good job, guys. Okay. I think this might be our last one. What type of rock formation is made by rivers? There's a really famous one in Arizona. Yep, a canyon. Good job, CJ. So canyons are made by rivers running through rock. This is called Horseshoe Bend, and it's a really famous part of the Grand Canyon, or the Colorado River Basin kind of area. Oh, just kidding. I have one more. What type of rock is made from cooling magma or lava? This is one of those 3 types of rocks. It means on fire. Blake, that's really, really close. we'll see if I don't get any other answer, then Blake, I'll give that to you. Let's see. You guys are really, really close. I'm looking for a word that starts with an I. Because there's metamorphic, there's sedimentary, and there's what kind of rock? If you don't know how to spell it, just try your best. No judgment. Good job. Yep, igneous. But you were absolutely right. Obsidian is a type of igneous rock. So is granite. So good job, Blake, as well, for getting obsidian. I'm impressed that you remember that. But yes, it is igneous rock, is made from cooling magma or lava. I would have also taken basalt as well. Igneous rock. Very, very nice. All right. That is all that I have for you today. I hope you guys had fun learning about rocks and things. I think tomorrow we're talking about weather, some weather phenomenon. Maybe I'll see if I can find some really, really strange weather to share with you. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Oh, you got obsidian from Minecraft? Is that something that you guys, do you mine for that in Minecraft?
Yeah, it's the only way to enter the nether.
Oh yeah? What do you guys make? Because you guys mine things, right?
I'm a beta tester in Minecraft, so I also get updates early.
Yeah,
I get Bedrock version updates.
I got
All right, I have a
Java.
question now. I don't play Minecraft. What do you make with obsidian? Because you mine things and then you make things with it, right? So what do you make with obsidian?
Obsidian, what you do is you make a circle-like pattern, a rectangle in Minecraft. You light flint and steel in the middle, makes a portal to the treacherous nether.
Interesting.
Very
So it's kind of
treacherous.
mystical, magical type rock.
No, it's the nether is evil.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys.